Very much. Please be seated. Distinguished Kenyans present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. When I received the invitation from the great lady, Sarah Serem, to come for this final end term report of this great organization, I was very worried that we wouldn't have people attending this function, because SRC has acquired popularity that does not encourage people to be in love with it. But I am pleasantly surprised that this hall is full. And I remember also when the journey for a new constitution, and I see Peter Oloaringo here, we sat together in Bomas, and many other Kenyans for long hours. And amongst the very central issues that our constitution gave us, or we gave or gifted ourselves, apart from devolution, which was complete paradigm shift of the management of the public affairs of our country, the other very critical institution that was not in the old constitution but became part of the new constitution is the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. I know that we did embed in our constitution that to be able to change certain sections of the constitution that we considered critical and central, including devolution, the structure of the executive, and many other, and a few other sections, we said to be able to change those sections, you need a referendum. I think we should have put in the constitution that to be able to change SRC or remove SRC, we should have 2 referenda. Because if there is an institution that has been threatened, and often we've had to cool down Parliament when they say we should disband this SRC, and many other groups. But I want to say that I am very happy to participate in this occasion as we reflect and indeed celebrate the journey of public service remuneration management, which we have traveled over the last 6 years. I want to, in a very special way, thank the Commission and applaud the work you have done over the last 6 years while you are in office. You have set a tone of professionalism, you've raised the standards, and the commitment you have shown has given us hope that indeed we are moving in the right direction with regard to the management of public service wage bill. You have pioneered the framework and policy guidelines for the management of remuneration and benefits in public service, a fundamental step in our endeavor to manage public wage bill. The sustainability of the public wage bill is inextricably linked to the ability of our government to deliver on the agenda that we have set out for the transformation of our country. I want to thank you, the SRC, for streamlining pay packages and getting rid of skewed remuneration. A harmonized and affordable wage bill is the beginning of a public service that can deliver. I also want to applaud you for guiding pay to be a reflection of work done. The truth is, we need a high-performing public service. We need men and women who deliver what is expected of them. In turn, they expect that they are motivated and paid fairly for their time and for their competencies. For the first time since independence and through this commission, it feels like we are making progress in the right direction. I know there are a lot of public servants who take their work very seriously, and there are many. Equally, we have freeloaders who while away doing nothing, doing gossip and rumor-mongering. We are progressing well to make sure everyone earns what his or her sweat. As we mark the end of term for the SRC Commissioners, we must applaud the genius of our Constitution. When we say our Constitution is progressive, institutions such as SRC are the embodiment of what we mean. Our Constitution is based on the principle of equity and decentralization of power, with devolution taking center stage. Independent commissions are the vehicle or vehicles that ensure the dictates of our Constitution are upheld. Today, the salary and benefits of all public servants, from the President and including all other public servants, are well known and available online. A few years ago, this was unimaginable. It was a top secret, which underlines the progress we have made and continue to make as a country in our efforts to be transparent and open. Before enactment of the new Constitution and subsequent establishment of SRC, there were several committees set up to review salaries in the public sector in our country. Unsurprisingly, this resulted in salary disparities, frequent industrial unrest, and an obvious and anxious and demotivated public service. The recently concluded job evaluation has addressed these issues, and we expect stability, productivity, and progress in public service. As the Minister for Finance has said, over the next 4 years, we will be spending an additional almost 85 billion to make sure that the entire public service remuneration is harmonized and is in line with ensuring that everybody gets paid for the work they do. The job of SRC is inherently difficult and complicated. There is no person who does not think they deserve a pay rise. Therefore, to strike a balance across tens of thousands of public servants is a massive task. I have no hesitation saying that the SRC has played its role well despite various challenges and difficulties. I was warned this morning by some of my friends that I shouldn't praise SRC too much. But quite honestly, and in fairness, SRC have done a commendable, great job. When the history of our time is written, this commission will have earned its dedicated pages for your pioneering work in the management of public service wage bill, the entrenchment of fairness in our remuneration, and productivity, including performance of our public service. That is a place we cannot deny you. In fact, you will earn for yourself not a paragraph, but a chapter. Fair remuneration is an integral part of issues of pay determination and provides the basis for growth and development. To address the question of low productivity, I wish to challenge the Commission to lead the way in the development of a national master plan for high priority and scarce skills. This will ensure proper placement and optimum utilization of employees who consume over 50% of revenue in remuneration and benefits. Further, there is need to strengthen the culture of competence-based performance in the public service with the aim of rewarding high achievers and sanctioning non-performers. This will strengthen performance and make Kenya an economic giant in Africa and beyond. Results-based management, therefore, would be used as a strategy to achieve the desired productivity and performance as we target the goals of Vision 2030. We want the economy to prosper so that we can continue to generate jobs for our young people and women, and to encourage entrepreneurs as we attract investment. And as the government continues to carry out economic reforms, implement the development plans, and invest in infrastructure, the role of constitutional commissions will continue to be even more important for all the sectors to thrive. And maybe I should explain myself here. You've heard clearly what the chair has said. Despite the tremendous effort that has been made by SRC in managing and harmonizing our public remuneration, we haven't made as much progress in bringing down the wage bill, because the gains we have made by the freeze we have put in place, the rationalization and harmonization of pay packages has been eroded by the numbers that have ballooned over the last 5 years. So what has happened? Our wage bill has moved from 465 billion to 600 almost and 30 billion, which means we have made gains in managing the wage bill, but the numbers have robbed us of the benefits that we would have earned from that rigorous exercise. And we must ask ourselves, as public servants, we generate taxes from the public, from the Kenyan taxpayer. 40 million of us pay taxes, 700,000 of us consume half of that money that is raised by 40 million Kenyans. That is the question we need to ask ourselves. How fair is it that 40 million Kenyans pay taxes, less than 10% consume half of that money, and then the other half is left for us to roll out infrastructure which feed into industrialization that give jobs to the balance of the 40 million Kenyans. And therefore, it is important for us to critically take the work that SRC are doing so that we can manage our wage bill from the 10 or 11% of GDP at the moment to 7% in the midterm, as we have been told. Reduce the resources consumed by the wage bill from the current 52% to possibly 35% of revenues that we collect, so that at least 65% of revenue go to developing infrastructure, connecting electricity, building our roads, generating electricity, expanding our water projects, so that we can truly become a middle-income country by ensuring that we can deliver on the agenda that we have set out for ourselves as Kenyans, and thereby using taxpayers' money to benefit all Kenyans rather than to be consumed by a fraction, less than, I think, 15% of Kenyans who how many, what percentage is that? 2% actually, my numbers. So 2% of Kenyans cannot consume 52% of money raised by 40 million Kenyans. It's not fair. I think we just need to be, and that is why this exercise is important. And as I conclude, we must, now going into the future, and I agree with Governor Nanok, we must take bold steps to ensure that the gains we are making by harmonizing and rationalizing salaries are not eroded by the huge numbers and the ballooning numbers that are going on either in the national government or in the counties. So the public service, Madam Cicely Kariuki, as the minister responsible, must begin an urgent process of engaging the public service, the county public service boards, and governments both at the national and the county level to ensure that we stem the runaway numbers that are eroding the gains we are making from the savings we are making in rationalizing and harmonizing public wage bill. That exercise has to be done as a matter of urgency. And secondly, we must bring urgently, possibly in the next 2 to 3 months, we must bring to Parliament the Public Service Remuneration and Benefits Bill that will create the force of law to ensure that progressively we bring down the wage bill from 52% of revenue to 35%. And that becomes a progressive legal requirement for every county and every arm of government. If you find yourself requiring several advisors to do the job for which either you were elected or appointed, it is time to leave the job and go and do something else. Because we find people having 5 advisors, 6 advisors, and then the advisor has also another advisor to advise the advisor. And you find ministers nowadays, I was a minister, I never had an advisor. Nowadays, ministers have several advisors, governors have several advisors, CECs have several advisors. And then it becomes just the whole thing becomes a mess. So what we are saving from rationalizing and harmonizing salaries is actually getting lost in all this chain of people we are employing to advise on this and advise on the other. And that's why I'm saying, if you find yourself having to require 4 or 5 advisors to do the job which you either looked for votes to carry out, or you were appointed, it means simply you don't know what you're doing, and you should give it up for somebody else to do it. As I conclude, I want to reiterate that it is important to safeguard the achievements that the Commission has made. On behalf of the President and on behalf of the entire government, I want to thank you, SRC, for your service, your dedication, your commitment, and the fact that you have been very forthright. You carried out your tasks without fear or favor, and that is the true spirit of public service. The next team of commissioners have very big shoes to fill, and we hope that they will carry on the good work that you have begun and even raise the bar. It is with these many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to declare the Salaries and Remuneration Commission End of Term Report 2011-2017 officially launched, and good luck to Sarah Serem, to the Commission, the entire Commission. I know Governor Nanok has put in a good word that you should be considered for other national responsibilities. I quite agree. As long as it is not as advisors in and I think we should allow a few of you like Peter Oloaringo to take leave and go into retirement. I think they have done Namasake there. They've done a good job, and there is no harm in retirement. I think it's another way of celebrating those people who have made huge contribution to the progress of our country. And maybe to use this occasion to tell our elders that retirement is a good thing also. You know, you don't have to work until you collapse or fall. It's good to retire when you can still sit and watch and see how what you have contributed, how others want to do it. So we will do what we must. So, but I want to agree that there is a wealth of experience in the commissioners, both serving at SRC and elsewhere, which we must continue to tap into as a country. Thank you very much, good people, and God bless you.